I know that you've been concerned about China lately, and what are your feelings on where it's going and what's happening over there?
Well, I try to keep in touch with people who are really in touch with China. In other words, I have a number of friends who are Chinese. I have friends who have married Chinese and they get over there on a fairly regular basis, and I kind of pick their brains when they get back. I think the thing that is overwhelming is the fact that there is a huge difference in the way the young people of China and the young people of the United States look at their country and they look at their own future. In the United States, more and more young people look on their country as having had a terrible history, as being really the villains. They look at the future and they think that unless you change the country tremendously, that it's going to be a total failure. And they don't see their own future with much good feeling. Meanwhile, if you deal with young Chinese, they not only think that their country has a great future, they think that they individually have a great future. Just think about how that works out over the long haul. When you have one country where the young people think their country is a good country that has a great future and that they have a great future, and you pit them against young people who think absolutely the opposite about their future and their country's future, and you've got a big problem. In other words, I don't know how you can get young people to fight for the United States for much longer. I fought in World War II. Every guy in my neighborhood ended up enlisting. I don't mean that we went down there jointly, but you know, I hung out with a bunch of guys at the corner of 95th Street and Columbus Avenue in New York. We had a baseball team, a football team. We were, by most standards, a gang. Not a violent gang like the gangs today. We had very strict rules and we were good people. We were good citizens. And every guy in my neighborhood, I think, enlisted. I don't mean we all went down together, but as they reached the age where they could enlist, and when they reached 17 or 18, one right after the other enlisted. And they enlisted because they believed in the country. They believed that we were the good guys. They were willing to risk their lives because of it. I'm trying to figure out where are you going to get the enlisted people that you need in the future in this country when they've been taught that their country is a terrible place that's done terrible things. And of course, all the things that they say that we've done that were so terrible are just simply nonsense. I mean, yes, we've done things that were wrong, but we did things that were wrong in the context of a world in which everybody else was doing the same thing. And you know, China, for example, they're not stupid, the people in China. They know all about Mao's Cultural Revolution. They know how many people were killed by the Chinese communists, that it's the biggest mass killing in history. The Chinese people know that, but they play that down and they look at what happened during those periods that was good. And the bottom line is that they moved toward industrialization. I was in China for the first time in 1979. I could not believe I was in the same country when I made my second visit 10 years later. And as I've gone back, each time I'm stunned by the progress they've made. And so yes, they had Mao Zedong and the Cultural Revolution, but Mao Zedong also laid some of the seeds that helped build a country. And so the Chinese, they know about the bad stuff, but they play up the good stuff. And we do just the opposite. In fact, over here, we just don't even know, the average kid out there doesn't even know the good stuff anymore. I'm the last hero. I'm part of the last heroes. I'm a World War II veteran. When the last of us dies, we won't have any more heroes. Because you weren't a hero if you fought in Vietnam. You weren't a hero if you fought in the revolution. You were fighting for a slave country. You weren't a hero in virtually any war we ever fought, except for World War II. And so we're the last heroes. When we die, who are the heroes then? We're out of them.